Financial pitfalls to avoid when growing your business. Hey everyone, it's CPA Dan Hodges with myfavoritecpa.com. Today I would like to talk about just some of the pitfalls that I've seen from business owners. And I'm not just talking about someone, some kid that just graduated from high school or college and is mowing grass. I'm talking about people that have been seasoned business owners over the past 30 years of my career, mistakes I've seen again and again and again, and it's kind of like the same mistake, just with a new age, new year, new technology, new stuff. So just some tips and ideas for you of things from the eyes of a business CPA. And believe me, we're just scratching the surface of the iceberg here, so to speak. First thing I want to talk about is what I often hear as tax planning. And in my world, we are expert tax planners. This is what I would call low-hanging fruit. Sometimes I will hear business owners say, well, their whole idea of tax planning is just blow all your profits at the end of the year. This is not why you go into business, to blow all your profits. And I think what they're talking about oftentimes is buying equipment. Sometimes if you buy equipment because you can use it in your business, there are tax deductions for that. And yes, that can make sense, but I think we need to start with this question. What is going to help you in your business? What is going to help you grow your sales? What's going to make you more efficient? What's going to make you more profitable? Think about those types of things. If you can think about something that is going to help us not only this year, but it's going to help us in future years. Maybe it's we often rent this piece of equipment to do the job. We spend a lot of money renting this equipment. Now, and maybe it's something that's extremely expensive. I'm talking $100,000, $200,000. If you have something that falls into that category, this can often not only make business sense, but when we bring that deduction to the table, now it makes tax sense. So I see that as a win-win. What I don't see as a win-win would be things like just buying equipment just to whittle your profit down. I personally think that's dumb. There are lots of ways that we can reduce your tax bill that make some of them make a heck of a lot more sense. Another thing I would like to talk about is the importance of budgeting. If you are just getting up and going, it's so monumentally important. And a lot of people get confused, or they get all special feelings. They get all Twitter-pated over budgeting because they maybe think of a nonprofit they were involved in, maybe a church, and how ugly the process was. Budgeting at the end of the day is just it's a plan. It's what are we planning to bring in and what are we planning to pay out. So if you start to compare, here's what we plan to bring in versus what we actually brought in, and there's either a shortfall or an excess. When you have the discipline of comparing, how do we expect to do versus how do we actually do, then you can start to look into why did we fall short, or why were we over? Let's frame it both ways here, negative or positive. And the same on the spending side. If we spent way more than we were planning to, how did that happen? We can't let that happen every month, all year long. Otherwise, we could be out of business. So I think budgeting is something that it's monumentally important. I can't emphasize it enough. Some of the best business people, you look at some of the most successful business people, and they are disciplined. They're disciplined in watching their numbers and comparing. How do we do compared to how do we expect to do? Another area I could touch on for a minute, some people have really strong feelings about credit cards and debt. There's the Dave Ramsey fans of the world who, they're absolutely anti-debt. I'm not totally in that camp. I think debt can make sense. There's the conversation about good debt and bad debt. If we are going into debt to buy something that's going to make us money, and if we are paying that out over an appropriate time frame, like 5 or 10 years, and the underlying asset is going to last at least that long, if not longer, to me that can make sense. Now, on the complete opposite flip side, I have seen people get so crazy about paying down their debt that literally what they will do is they will run and be in a hurry to pay off their mortgage, and they will drain funds out of their company and almost bankrupt their company to pay off a mortgage that's at 2% or 3% interest. Now, then next year comes along, things are a little bit tighter. Now they have to get creative financing. maybe run up their credit card to keep their business going. How does that make sense in the grand scheme of things? If you look through the transaction, we are paying off a mortgage that is a 30-year mortgage or a long loan on a piece of equipment. And instead, we're running up our credit card, which is due when? In like 30 days. And the interest rate, instead of being 2 or 3%, it's like, what are interest rates in credit cards nowadays? It could be 17%. I've even heard of people that have higher rates. Why in the world would you pay down your 2-3% mortgage interest to run up your 10, 20, 30% credit card or payday loans? That just, come on people, let's think. And this is where some of you need professional advice. You need to be associated with either a mentor or a professional accountant, someone that can talk through some of these things with you. Here again, I'm not talking to people that just started a lawn mowing business out of their trunk of their car. I'm talking about people that are educated. I'm talking about people who are experienced and they fall into traps. And I have just a couple more today. I've seen this a lot. I've seen it a lot over the years and I'm seeing a resurgence of it. It's just newer and more high tech. And I'm gonna call it get rich quick schemes. I've seen many of them over the years. Early in my career, I saw these ones that were like religious based, like you're giving money to Jesus and you're gonna get big returns on investment and we're gonna feel good about it. And some of these people got ripped off and burned. Nowadays, I have seen an influx of people, you pay someone a huge chunk of money and they're going to start a Amazon business or a web-based business. You pay them $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. They're going to start this business for you. Money's just going to come flowing into your mailbox and your life is going to be so easy. Now, every one of those that I see, I want to say virtually every single one that I've seen in the past 2-3 years, those people, we ask them after a year, hey, what happened? You know, you had all this, this was supposed to happen. You were supposed to have this money coming in. What happened? Yeah, I paid that guy all that money and, you know, things were going good for a while, but then all of a sudden he stopped talking to us. And well, what happened? It's all gone now. We're broke. At least these people had the extra money to invest in that. I guess that's the positive note here. Like it was a gamble. And along those lines, I've seen educated, smart people, both historically and recently, who invest money in, investments. Whether it's in the olden days, it was people that wanted to be day traders. I have dealt with doctors, dentists, physicians, chiropractors, educated people who, they decide that they want to be a day trader. So they dump $250,000, $300,000 in the stock market and they're buying and they're selling and they're buying and they're selling. And we look at the tax filings and they've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the way to make a small fortune is start with a big fortune, then enter into something that you know nothing about and convince yourself that you can manage this daily. And at the end of the day, you'll have a small fortune. I've seen it happen in recent years with some of these virtual currencies, ranging from Bitcoin to Ethereum and so on and so forth. So really people, get a financial advisor, get a mentor, listen to them. Don't fall for get rich quick schemes. It never works. It's not gonna pan out. Another one of my favorites is people that they get convinced that they don't wanna pay all that money for professional advice or professional services. So they're gonna do it yourself company formation, or they're gonna do it yourself accounting and tax services. If you're just getting started, I understand bootstrapping, but spend your money where it counts. Because so many times I see people getting do-it-yourself software that end up with horrible results, but they really pride themselves on saving all that money. I just want to take a moment and redirect this entire conversation to my website, which is myfavoritecpa.com. All along those lines, I've designed some cloud-based education, which you can watch a little bit like Netflix. And if you're in business and you would like to know, how do I get a hold of my tax situation and reduce the drain that the government has on me? Well, check out my website because I have the done-for-you cloud-based education where a little investment of time can have a huge payoff, because once you have the knowledge, now you can act on it and do the right things. I hope that helps a little bit, and I just want to thank you for watching today. If you have any comments or questions, drop them down below. I would like to engage with you, my fans, my audience, my listeners, my subscribers, and the people that have purchased my course. And on that note, check out my Linktree. It's linked in my bio. You can learn more about my cloud-based education, or if you are ready to purchase today, head over to my website, which is myfavoritecpa.com. Look for the tax strategies for small business course. It's a small investment that can have a huge payoff once you get that knowledge in your brain and you're looking at the world from the correct lens. As always, if this helped you, would you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for alerts, and to follow us. I am on, I think, all the main social medias ranging from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. So check those out and check out my Linktree too. I think it will help you understand more about who I am and how I help business owners just like you.